And so while we are waiting for everybody else to join, I would love to know in the chat box, where are you tuning in from? So I'm in Spain, in Moira, but I'm from Newcastle, lived in Ireland for almost 10 years, and now I'm in Spain. So let me know, where are you all? Frankfurt in Germany, Ireland, West Yorkshire, Dublin. French living in Ireland, Dublin, Kildare, Ireland. Lots of Ireland tonight. Ireland, Ireland, more. The orbs have started already. It always happens on these calls. Norwich, UK, Ireland. Um, Whoever has their name as iPhone, could you just do me a favor? And I don't mind if you want to send it as a private message or whatever, but if you could just send me your name. I don't like when there's anybody who's in the meeting who I don't know who it is if they haven't got their name on, just because of the sensitive nature of what we're going to be talking about. Just because we're talking about traumas. I'll be asking throughout the practice if anybody wants to share anything about their experiences in the chat box. And so it's just really important for me that I know everybody's names, just so I know everybody who's here. So whoever iPhone is, if you could just drop me a private message there and let me know your name, that would be really appreciated. And there's still just up in the top corner there a few people who are joining in. So I'm gonna, no problem. I'm getting some messages as well from people saying my camera is not working. It's fine, don't worry about it. It happens. I mean, it is nice to see faces, but I know sometimes, especially when you're new to these practices, not everybody's brave enough. So that's okay. That's fine. Don't worry about it. And look, my camera's broken before as well, so don't even worry about it. Janine joining from Wales there. So what I'd like to know next is, could you pop a 1 in the chat box? Oh, there's still people joining there, just letting them in. Could you pop a 1 in the chat box if you've been to any of my womb healings before? And if you're completely new to my womb healings, can you pop a 2 in the chat box? Oh, amazing. So we've got a good mixture there. So I think we'll kind of dive into this. I'm just conscious that there's always in these practices so much that I want to share with you. So if anybody joins late, that's absolutely fine. I do want to share with you, just before we do the actual practice itself, a little bit about like what womb healing is, what to expect, what are the benefits. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go through just some of the different aspects of womb healing. Okay, so and somebody just give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can see the slide that's up on my screen at the moment. You don't mind. Amazing. Perfect. Okay, so just a little bit about womb healing. So womb healing is a deep journey to the self. It is a return to the self. So oftentimes women who have experienced either trauma or chronic illness or pain, it will create this sense of disconnection from the self, this disconnection from the body, and this lack of trust, this lack of belief, lack of confidence in the self. And so womb healing is a return to the self. It's about working on your body, your emotions, your mind, and your spirit. So some people might think that because it's called womb healing, we're just working on the womb, and that's not true. Womb healing is a whole body and holistic approach. So we work on the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body, which is very, very important for us to work on all levels for true lifelong healing to occur. This is all about getting back what has been taken away from you, either by trauma or by illness. This process helps you to rebuild a strong and loving relationship with yourself and with your body, and it helps you to rediscover the joy in life. Or for some people, it might not even be rediscover, it might be discover the joy in life for the first time. This is a journey of learning to trust yourself, a journey of learning to trust your body, and a journey of learning to trust your intuition. It's about getting out of this struggle of life, of like thinking that life is hard, life is challenging, that healing is hard and that healing is challenging, which is this big lie that we've been fed. It's something that we've been conditioned into believing. And it's about getting out of that healing struggle and into this flow state. With womb healing, you get on the path to becoming a happier, healthier, and more liberated version of yourself. So my question to all of you is, after hearing that, are you ready to be free? Give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat box if you're ready for change. Hi, Ria. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Good to hear, ladies. I love it. Yes, definitely. Capitals, yes. Love your enthusiasm. Okay, so I'm going to share a little bit about the benefits of womb healing. And like I said, this is about healing on all levels. So I'm going to explain what that actually looks like. So the physical benefits of womb healing, and this is just a condensed version, believe it or not, because the benefits will ripple out into every single area of your being when you start this womb healing journey. But this is just kind of the highlights that I wanted to share with you. So the physical benefits, one of them is reclaiming your physical health. So womb healing helps you to ease, support, and even completely heal physical issues such as autoimmune disease, chronic illness, painful periods, or even reproductive issues. It gives you a renewed vitality. So anybody who has dealt with either trauma or chronic illness knows that it just sucks away your energy mentally, physically, emotionally. This renews your vitality, it renews your energy and your overall health and wellness. By putting energy into womb healing, it actually gives you back more energy in your life. It can also balance your hormones. So womb healing restores not only your sex hormones, again, because we call it womb healing, you might think it's just the hormones in relation to your reproductive cycle and stuff like that. It's actually not. It can restore and balance all of your hormones. So you can imagine the effect that this can have on your endocrine system, on your mood, on your illness, on your disease, just on your even mental health. It can also, it regulates and supports your nervous system. So anybody who has suffered trauma or chronic illness, again, your nervous system is often left in a state of chronic dysregulation. It is often left living in survival mode, like living on edge, just trying to make it to the next day. And as we all know, that is no way to live. That is not a life. And so womb healing helps to support and restore and regulate your nervous system, but it also teaches you the skills that you need in order to not let this cycle keep repeating of living in chronic dysregulation, which is very important. And for anybody who suffers with chronic anxiety or chronic worry as well, it really, really helps that on a physical, emotional, and mental level. In terms of pain relief, womb healing provides relief from pain and discomfort in the body. So it can relieve chronic pain conditions, it can relieve menstrual cramps, it can relieve pain stemming from many different things. And then on an emotional level, so what can womb healing do for you on an emotional level? Letting some people in who are joining the weight room. So the emotional benefits of womb healing. So one of them is emotional freedom. And what I mean by that is womb healing offers a path for you to process and release stored emotions. So when we experience trauma or chronic illness, oftentimes we are, because of the tension and the stress and the fear and the survival mode, we hold on to emotions within the body and we don't actually process and experience them. Now, what happens over time is that leads to more dysregulation, more dysfunction, more pain, more illness. And so womb healing is a way for us to not only release and process all of those past trapped emotions from the body, but it also teaches us the skills so that we can make change in our lives and learn how to deal with our emotions going forward to avoid this continuing to happen. It also gives you a huge, huge boost in confidence. So as your emotional healing grows, and as you see these physical changes beginning to happen in your body, you get this level of like self-confidence and self-assurance that just cannot be matched. So when you learn how to access this healing power that's within you and see these shifts and changes happening in real time, the confidence levels that you will gain from that, it's just something that can never be taken away from you again. This is also when manifesting becomes easy. So when you get that confidence, when you see those changes happening, this is when manifesting becomes easy for you. It also allows you to work with your triggers. So womb healing is a really powerful tool for what I like to call trigger training. And it involves several different ways to work with your triggers. First of all, to understand them, but also to desensitize yourself. It's not normal. It might be common, but it's not normal to be triggered all of the time. It's not normal to be triggered regularly. If you are being triggered regularly, and if you are struggling to cope with or to recover from those triggers, that is a sign that you are living in survival mode. That is a sign that you are living in chronic dysregulation. That is a sign that you are disconnected from the power that lies within you. The womb healing helps you to desensitize yourself to those triggers so that when they happen, they just don't even bother you anymore because you're safe, you're connected, you're confident, you're empowered, you're happy. It also helps massively, massively to reduce stress. So oftentimes, if you've been through a trauma, if you're dealing with chronic illness or pain, you will maybe not be able to deal with stress so well. You will have a very low tolerance for stress. And so womb healing helps you to expand your tolerance for stress whilst also teaching you how to reduce and eliminate the stress in your life. Obviously, there's always going to be stresses. I mean, like life happens, shit happens. There's always going to be things that happen in life that stress us out. But when we learn how to expand our tolerance for stress and our capacity to withstand it, um, I love seeing people's cats. I love seeing people's pets when we're on Zoom. It's one of the great benefits, especially during meditation. The cats always seem to creep over when everybody's eyes are closed during meditation. It's brilliant. So then moving on to the mental benefits of womb healing. So the mental benefits, one of them is enhanced clarity. So when you have this like emotional healing and this understanding of your triggers and your trauma, when you're receiving the education that we should have been taught when we were younger, but we weren't actually taught, this gives you a level of mental clarity that is so empowering, and it will help you to improve your decision making. Because oftentimes people with chronic illness or trauma will be really indecisive. Yeah, like can never make a decision. I need somebody's help to help me make this decision, and then I'm still going to be paralyzed with fear in case I've made the wrong choice. Yeah. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can relate to that. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if that's you. It used to be me, not anymore, thank God, because of the power of womb healing. Yeah. Also, so emotional intelligence leads to, I used to be that way, and it has been me over the eclipse. It's interesting to notice sometimes how the moon cycle can really affect these types of things and bring them to the forefront. In terms of eclipse, because eclipse is in relation to kind of that darkness, yeah, that comes over. It can actually bring our shadows or our darknesses to the light, but that's a good thing because it's an opportunity for healing. So it can, the mental benefits, it can also give us a better understanding of your emotions, how to manage them, how to deal with overwhelming emotions. Yeah. So I was on the phone to a client a few days ago who was really, really upset with me. She's a new client. She wasn't upset with me. She was really upset on the phone to me because just before our call, she had snapped at her partner and then she had snapped at her son. So by the time she came to the call, she was in floods of tears and saying, like, I'm not a bad person, I swear it, but I feel like a bad person because I'm just so stressed, tired, overwhelmed, worn down that I literally can't help myself in the moment but like snap or be a bit sharp or just lose my temper. But then 5 minutes later, I'm regretting it. I'm internalizing. I feel shame. I feel like a bad wife. I feel like a bad mother. And this is something that is all too common. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's because we haven't actually been taught how to process our emotions in the moment. We let them build and build and build, and we put them down and we put them down until we explode. Yeah, it's bound to happen at some point. But we also haven't been told how to deal with challenging emotions. Like if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling irritated, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling grief, if you're feeling sadness, if you're feeling shame, like why don't we get taught what to do in those situations? Like surely this should be like a basic life skill that we are taught as children in school. That's what I believe anyway. And that's why I'm on this mission now to educate everybody on the stuff that I believe we really missed out on. Also in terms of self-love, and I know that self-love is a very broadly used term these days, but self-love, self-care, and self-compassion often go out the window when we've experienced trauma or chronic illness. We're very hard on ourselves. Just like my client who I was just talking about, who was feeling all of that shame and like she was a bad person. This is where womb healing teaches us to be more compassionate and forgiving and patient with ourselves, to extend ourselves that same patience and compassion that we would extend to other people. It also helps us to break limiting beliefs, so to break old trauma patterns, to break all like limiting beliefs in terms of like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not a good parent, it would never happen to me, you know, all of these types of things. Womb healing can help us not only to release those things, but to completely rewire them and completely shift our belief systems into something different. And then last of all, just talking about the spiritual benefits. So womb healing helps you um, to deepen your inner spiritual connection. So this is to really, really deepen your relationship with yourself and with the divine feminine that lives inside each and every one of you. Whether you feel it or not, whether you believe it or not, the goddess lives inside of you, the goddess lives through you. And when you're able to tap into that infinite source of divine love and connection, it will completely transform your relationship with yourself. It also shows you how to feel inner peace. Instead of this constant like war with yourself, this constant battle, this constant struggle, this constant inner turmoil, it teaches you how to feel inner peace and how to actually enjoy life. Because something that I'm really, really big on is not just focusing on healing, but focusing on creating a life that is worth healing for. Because if not, then like, what is the point? Why are we doing this? If we're just trying to heal so we can go back to our shitty, boring lives that we hate, then like, really, what is the point? You know, we want to heal so that we can be happy, so that we can be free, so that we can be joyful, so that we can manifest, so that we can create, so that we can have beautiful relationships. Like, that's why we want to heal. And that's what womb healing does. It helps us to tap into that creative energy that we have, that aligned energy that we have, that is able to birth these new realities for ourselves. And then, last but not least, womb healing helps us not only to heal ourselves on all levels, but to heal our lineage. So think about the women who came before us. And even I always talk about the women because we're talking about from womb to womb in this specific practice, but even on our, you know, on the male side of our ancestral line, think about how many people we have. Yes, like our parents, our grandparents, great great grandparents, but going back and further back, we have thousands of ancestors that go back thousands of years. Think of all of the pain and suffering and trauma that has been experienced in our family line, that has been experienced in our ancestral line. And we still see played out today in the world around us some of the after effects of the trauma that our ancestors experienced. Thinking, for example, about the burning of witches, you know, these women weren't witches, they were just women. They were women like us who wanted to heal, who wanted to connect with themselves, who wanted to recognize the divine within ourselves, but also in the world. And these women were burned, they were stoned, they were persecuted. So think about the level of trauma that passes down over generations. Think about for my sisters who are joining from Ireland, think about the famine, you know, think about the occupation, think about the trauma there that we still see to this very day in Ireland being played out. We still see people who have not healed from that past trauma. It's still very prevalent. Living in Ireland for almost 10 years, exactly the Magdalene laundries, all of these things. I actually got shivers up my arm when you wrote that. All of these things like are still having such a huge impact on the people of Ireland, on the people in the UK, different traumas, people each country has their own shit that they have to heal from and deal with. Definitely at different levels and in different ways, but it's there. you know, and then as a collective, as women, you know, dealing with the persecution of witches, dealing with how women have been treated, dealing with having to be fearful, having to be scared. You know, we still see that today in the world because this trauma has not been healed. And so when we come together as women, just like we are tonight, not only do we heal ourselves, but we heal our ancestral lines. We heal the trauma of our countries, but then we also heal so that future generations do not have to carry the burden of past traumas, so that future generations can be happy and healthy and free without having to carry these burdens. And that's why we do this. So womb healing travels not only through yourself, but through past and future generations. So in this practice that we're going to be sharing tonight, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now. In this practice that we're going to be sharing tonight, this is one of my absolute favorite practices, and I will always, always, always share this practice for free. That's a promise I made to myself a long time ago. And the reason for that is that on my own healing journey, so for those who are new here, for those who don't know, in my early 20s, I had a complete mental breakdown after a very abusive, nasty, horrible relationship. I had a complete mental breakdown. I was in a different country, Ireland, on my own. And I was diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, dissociative disorder, panic disorder, agoraphobia, you know, you name it, I was diagnosed with it. I was suffering with 10 panic attacks every single day. I was waking up in the middle of the night, so dissociated, like so feeling as if like I wasn't in my body and that this wasn't real. And I was actually waking up, scraping my fingers on the walls to be like, am I still in here? To get some like sensation, kind of like a realness into my hands, to be like, am I still here? Can I still feel this? Why don't I feel like I'm in here? I was suffering with such bad panic attacks and agoraphobia that for a lot of days I couldn't even make it past the front door. I would get to the front door, I'd start having panic attacks, I'd dissociate even further, and then I'd end up just going back into bed, getting under the covers and just crying for hours and hours and hours. And this was my life for a long time. And then a year after that is when I was diagnosed with my autoimmune disease. I was diagnosed with neuropathy. I was then diagnosed with skin cancer. So I was really, really, really like beyond rock bottom. I thought that my life was over. I felt very alone, very isolated. I had to cut off a lot of people in my life at this point. I was going to therapy and trying to deal with my shit, but it was unfortunately bringing up a lot of stuff that I didn't realize about my past and my childhood. And so it was spiraling me even further. It got worse before it got better. But at the very lowest of the low, when I thought, like, because people kept telling me as well, like, these are not things that you heal, these are things that you learn how to manage. This is like a lifelong condition, this will never go away. That's not true, because now, today, I'm 31 and I haven't had a panic attack in 7 years, maybe 7 years, I think. I've been in physical remission from my physical illnesses for 5+ years. I do not suffer with anxiety. Um, do not suffer with dissociation, panic attacks, none of that stuff. And this was all stuff that at one point I thought was going to consume my entire life. This was all stuff that at one point had me having suicidal thoughts because I felt like I was drowning. I was like, there's no way I can get out of this. There's no way that I can ever get better from this. Like, this is bad. I was so scared. I was so terrified. And I felt so alone. And that's when I discovered womb healing. And the very first practice that I did, the very first womb healing practice that I did, is the one that I'm going to share with you tonight. And the reason that I promised to always share this practice for free is because the first time I did this practice, I had no idea what womb healing was. I had always been very disconnected from my feminine. I was a real tomboy growing up, more so even than my brother. You know, I was the one that would be like coming home with like broken bones and getting into fights and being in the mud. Um, and I didn't have any women in my life who I looked up to or felt loved by. I didn't have any female friendships. You know, I thought that like, oh, girls are bitchy, you know, like I had, I usually actually always had a group of gay male friends. And that was usually it. I didn't really have any close female friendships, anybody who I trusted. And so this, when I discovered womb healing, it was completely like, oh, what is this bullshit? You know, I ended up in a womb healing class kind of by accident, actually. It was during my traditional kundalini training. And so I was in this womb healing class, and she starts talking about my yoni and my womb. And my eyes were closed, but internally to myself, I was like rolling my eyes and thinking, like, oh, here we fucking go. You know, like, this is not what I signed up for. And by the end of the class, I was absolutely sobbing in tears. I was just hysterical crying. Like this door, this portal had been opened. And for the first time in my whole entire life, I experienced for a moment what it felt like to feel unconditional love. I felt for the first time that like love of a mother towards a child. I felt what it felt like to be like held and to be safe and supported. And that was all through this womb healing practice. And as you can imagine, it completely changed the trajectory of my life. And that is why I do the work that I do today, because I'm like, I need to share this with everybody. I need everybody to know that healing is possible. I need everybody to know. I need every single one of you to know that everything that you need in order to heal is already inside of you. Healing doesn't come from the treatments, the medications, the supplements. And I'm not saying don't do any of those things. I'm not saying that they can't help in some way. I'm just saying that when you constantly are taught to outsource your healing to others, you become disconnected from the healing power that you already have. And everything you need in order to heal is already inside of you. And that's what we're going to tap into today. And that is why I share this practice for free, because it's completely changed my life. It's set my life in a totally different direction. And I want as many women around the world to experience this practice. So, with that being said, I would love, before we jump into the practice itself, I would love for each of you to pop either a word, 2 words, or just a brief sentence into the chat box about what brings you to womb healing. So is it like, you know, fertility? Is it trauma? Is it abuse? Is it disconnection? Is it not having a sisterhood? Just what is it within you that was like, yes, I want to join this. I need this today. And there's literally no right or wrong answer. Generational trauma. Big one, to find myself. Generational trauma. Negative self-talk. Yeah, I've been there. I've definitely been there. Basically, everything you mentioned, fertility and trauma, connect to my feminine energy, healing sexual trauma and ancestral healing. Generational trauma, PTSD, so resonated with so much you said. Move forward in my life. Yeah. bad experiences. Trust good things happening and let go. Deep healing, generational trauma, and ancestral healing. Finding validation within myself instead of from others. Oh yeah, I like that. That's a good one. That's something that a lot of us who end up on the womb healing journey really need. Connecting to ancestral healing and trauma and to heal. Resonated with a lot of what you said, healing trauma, self-worth, anxiety, PTSD, connecting to myself. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what womb healing is, it's about this journey back to the self. Lost my little boy at 16 weeks and had a very traumatic miscarriage. I need to heal my body and my mind. I'm really sorry to hear that, Sabrina. Sending you like lots of love, healing energy, prayers, everything. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for your bravery in sharing that. Heartbreak, repeating old patterns, any advice on how to get out of the cycle? Repeating bad behaviors, can it help with that? Absolutely, Tara. As I said, when I got onto my womb healing journey, it was because I was in a really nasty relationship. And it was that relationship that woke me up to realizing that actually I had a history of making bad decisions, and getting myself into relationships with people who not only didn't respect me, but treated me in a very nasty, manipulative, abusive way. And now I'm in a happy, healthy relationship that I've been in for 6 years. Moved to Spain with my husband. So like it is possible to break that cycle. Yeah. And when, by the way, when I left that abusive relationship, like I thought I would never have a relationship again. I literally cried for like 9 months. I thought like this is it. Like, I thought it was the end of my world. I really, really did. Um, and I also thought, which is a big one, how am I going to be able to have a healthy relationship when I keep choosing people who are like abusive, or like I obviously can't trust myself to make these right decisions or to determine whether somebody is like a healthy person or not. I can't trust myself to leave when it gets bad because I've said I was going to do it a million times and I definitely fucking didn't. Like, how can I trust myself when I haven't been reliable enough in the past to look after myself? And so I genuinely thought I'm never going to be able to have a relationship. I'm never going to be able to have a healthy relationship. I'm never going to be able to trust somebody again. I'm never going to be able to feel safe with a man. But healing is possible. Like I said, that is now completely changed for me. Breaking cycles is my issue. Can't let go peacefully to trust. This is the thing. We often try to do it in the wrong order. Yeah, we try to let go so that we can begin to break these cycles, yeah, so that we can begin to trust ourselves again, when actually confidence comes with competence. Okay, so we don't just have this trust in ourselves all of a sudden. We don't just have this confidence in ourselves all of a sudden. The trust and the confidence in ourselves and the ability to let go comes when we have rebuilt that relationship with ourselves. When we have proven to ourselves, okay, I can trust me now. I've kept these promises that I've made to myself this time. I've began making better decisions because I'm connected to myself. I feel safe within myself. I'm learning about my body, how to trust my body, how to trust my intuition. And so now I'm beginning to make better choices. And then with that competence is when your confidence and your trust in yourself grows. And then when you get into a healthy relationship, or when you meet someone who maybe in the past you would have been like letting that person in, you're just like, oh hell no, my standards are way higher than that now. Bye, you know. And it comes easy to you then because your mind is clear, your intuition is clear, and you believe in yourself and you trust in yourself. It doesn't just happen with the click of a finger. It happens with rebuilding that relationship with yourself, which is what we do through womb healing. It's so difficult being your own worst critic because there's never a break from it. Literally, it's the worst thing. I remember at one point being in therapy and just crying, 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 and saying to my therapist, I wish I could get my mind to just shut the fuck up for 5 minutes and stop being mean to me. Because I was like having all of these thoughts all day long about like how stupid I was to let this happen to me, like how weak I was for allowing it, like how I wasn't a very good person because I was afraid at the time to like speak up about it. Do you know, all of these things, and it was just constant, 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 constant. And then this like questioning, like, am I overreacting? Am I being a bitch here? Like, am I just too sensitive? Like, literally gaslighting myself. And so I ended up just in therapy, just sobbing, crying. Like, I just can't get me to shut the fuck up and give me a break, you know? And so it's really, really difficult because I mean, with other people, you can walk away and you can remove yourself. But when it's yourself that's saying those things, you know, you can't just walk away from that. So what you need to do is to meet that and to learn how to work with that and to rebuild that relationship. Because that voice in your head is a part of you. And then there's this other part of you who's the one wanting it to shut up and leave you alone. And these two parts of yourself just become so disconnected. We need to rebuild that relationship. We need to realize why this voice is saying those things. And we need to make her feel safe because she's lashing out. She's saying, you didn't protect us last time, bitch. That was your one job. Yeah. And so we need to make her realize that, like, yeah, we fucked up, okay, but we're going to fix it. I'm going to be here for me now. I'm going to be here for us. I'm going to protect us. I'm going to make better choices. And I'm going to rebuild this relationship. I'm going to fix this. Yeah. A lot of heavy stuff, I know. What I want to do before we move into the womb healing meditation is just do a little aura cleanse with everybody because I understand a lot. You know, we've been talking about a lot of really intense stuff and it might be bringing up a lot for you. So I want us to do a little aura cleanse before we do the meditation. You get into just a seated position. Make sure that your spine is nice and tall. I then want you to bring your hands like this. So you're going to bring your wrists, your thumbs, and your pinky fingers together. And then spread your fingers wide. So it's as if you're like making a goblet shape or you're trying to catch a ball or I can't really relate to that because I'm terrible at catching things, but you know what I mean? So you're doing this shape with your hands and you bring it into your heart. This is Lotus Mudra. As you inhale, you reach your hands open overhead. Spread the fingers wide at the top, and as you exhale, gently draw the petals of a flower around yourself. Bringing your hands back to your heart in Lotus Mudra. Inhale up. Exhale slowly, slowly back down. Inhale up. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Exhale back down. Now continue on like this, noticing that with each round you become lighter and lighter. Close your eyes. As you become lighter, you become clearer. Making this your last round. Once you're finished, bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your womb. Whether that's the physical womb or the energetic womb, they are both in the same place. And just take a moment to feel the connection between these two powerful energy centers, your heart space and your womb space. I want you to repeat these words out loud after me, repeating them like you mean it, repeating them with conviction. Everything that I need in order to heal is already inside of me. Everything that I need in order to heal is already inside of me. Everything that I need in order to heal is already inside of me. Whenever you're ready, you can release the hands down, gently open the eyes, and then I want you to come into a lying down position. Now, if you're pregnant, just lie whatever way. Just lie whatever way is comfortable for you. But for everybody else, it's really important that you lie with your spine straight. So I don't want you to be propped up on pillows or anything like that. I don't want you to be leaning against the side of the sofa. I want your spine and your neck to be straight, be flat. So you're lying on your back with your spine straight. Now, as you're getting into this comfortable lying down position, I'm going to begin to guide you through this traditional kundalini tantra womb healing meditation. As I begin to count back from 10, I want you to see yourself rewinding back through your life. As if somebody's just picked up a remote control and hit the rewind button and you're reversing all the way back through your life until you are 10 years old. So rewinding back through your life until you are 10 years old, starting now for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arriving back when you are only 10 years old. Take a look around. Notice what comes up for you. Notice what memories, what images come up for you. Notice who's around you. Or maybe it's about noticing who's not around you. And you're not trying to fix anything. You're not trying to diagnose. You're not trying to figure out. You're not judging. You are just observing. Noticing what comes up for you. Noticing what it feels like to be 10 years old again. What does it feel like to be 10 years old again? Notice what comes up for you without judgment and without trying to change anything. Now I want you to look into that 10-year-old you's eyes and see if she has a message for you. What is it that she needs from you? What is it that she wants you to know? And be open to receiving that message wholeheartedly without judgment. Remembering that a message can come in many different forms. It can come in words, images, memories, sensations in the body. Sometimes it can just be a deep inner knowing. Just be open to receiving it. Sometimes no message can be the loudest message of them all. Now I want you to take that 10-year-old you's hands and look into her eyes and repeat these words out loud after me. I love you. I love you. I love you. I accept you. I accept you. I accept you. I am here for you. I am here for you. I am here for you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. As I count back from 10 now, I want you to see yourself rewinding back even further. Rewinding all the way back until you are only 5 years old. Starting now for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arriving back when you are only 5 years old. What does it feel like to be here again? Notice what comes up for you. Notice what memories, what images, what emotions come up for you. Again, without trying to fix them, without trying to change them. Now, I want you to see, is there a message that the 5-year-old you has for you? What is it that she needs from you? What is it that she wants you to know? And again, just be open to receiving that message wholeheartedly without judgment. And now taking a hold of the 5-year-old you's hands and looking into her eyes. Repeat these words out loud after me. I love you. I love you. I love you. I accept you. I accept you. I accept you. I am here for you. I am here for you. I am here for you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And as I count back from 10 now, I want you to rewind back even further until you're just a little baby, only 1 year old. We're winding back further through your life now for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arriving back when you are only 1 year old. Remembering that at this young age, you might have less visual memories, but you would have been very tuned in to the energies and the emotions of everybody around you. Really notice what it feels like in terms of the sensations in your body, in terms of the emotions. What does it feel like to be 1 year old again? What comes up for you? What thoughts, memories, images, feelings, emotions? Again, without trying to change anything and without judgment. Now I want you to take that 1-year-old you in your arms, that little vulnerable baby who just wants to be held and loved, who just wants to feel safe and supported and taken care of. And I want you to look down into her eyes and repeat these words out loud after me. I love you. I love you. I love you. I am here for you. I am here for you. I am here for you. I accept you. I accept you. I accept you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And as I count back from 10 now, you're going to rewind back even further, all the way until you are only 1 day old, brand new into this world, completely dependent on your caregivers, just wanting your basic needs to be met, to be fed, to be held, to be loved, to be cared for, to be protected. Very, very sensitive and tuned in to the energies and the emotions of the people around you. As I count back from 10 now, rewinding back until you are only 1 day old, for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, arriving back when you are only 1 day old. Notice any emotions or any sensations that come up for you. Notice any images. What does it feel like to be 1 day old again? What does it feel like to be back here? Now I want you to take the 1 day old you in your arms. That little girl, that pure soul who's just arrived in this world. And I want you to look into her eyes and repeat these words out loud after me. I love you. I love you. I love you. I am here for you. I am here for you. I am here for you. I accept you. I accept you. I accept you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And as I count back from 10 now, you're going to rewind all the way back until you are inside your mother's womb. Your mother's womb would be where any of her traumas that she did not heal or that were created in her life or that were passed down to her. Maybe she was unaware of them. Maybe she tried to heal them. This is where any of your mother's unhealed traumas would have been passed down to you as while you were in your mother's womb space. But this is also where any of your ancestral traumas would have been passed down to you, is through your mother's womb space, because the womb space is where these traumas are stored. This is also where anything that your mother would have felt during pregnancy, you would have also felt it. So as I count back from 10 now, we're winding until you are back inside your mother's womb for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, arriving back inside your mother's womb, surrounded by water, surrounded by darkness. What does it feel like to be here? Notice what emotions come up for you, what sensations. Notice if any images or words come up. And you don't need to attach a story to them. You don't need to understand why they are there. Just observe them without judgment. How does it feel to be here inside your mother's womb? What does it feel like to be back here? As I count back from 10 now, you're going to see water rushing into your mother's womb space. And this water is a divine cosmic ocean of healing water that is going to bring all of that stuff to the surface and wash and cleanse it. So as I count back from 10 now, seeing that water entering your mother's womb space for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Seeing and feeling that water surrounding you inside your mother's womb space, swirling round, washing through, getting down into the deepest, darkest, most hidden parts of her womb space, of the trauma, of the pain, bringing it all up to the surface, churning it up from the bottom, and washing, cleansing, and healing it all inside your mother's womb space. See, hear, and feel that water surrounding you. Feel it inside your mother's womb, cleansing and healing. And now I want you to, doing this slowly because you've been lying down for about half an hour, I want you to gently open your eyes and bring yourself up into a seated position. What we're going to do is we're going to chant a mantra together here, which is going to release all of that stuff from your mother's womb space. So all of that trauma, all of that pain, all of the tension, everything in your mother's womb space, we're going to release it together now. This includes all of the ancestral generational trauma. So in order for us to release this, we're going to chant a mantra, and the mantra is one word. I'm going to write it in the chat box. It's super easy. And that word is har, H-A-R. And as we chant that word, we're going to do a few different things with it. So I'm going to stand up so I can show you the stomach movement that we're going to be doing with it. Now, just to be clear, if there is anybody who is pregnant, might be pregnant, is on their period, has a stomach ulcer, hernia, basically just anything at all going on in this region that we don't want to upset, I don't want you to do the stomach movements, okay? But if you don't have any of those things, then I want you to copy off me. Just watch for now. To give a bit of perspective, this is where my navel is, and then this is where my hand is. So it's on the place above my navel, below the rib cage. And just watch what happens as I chant the mantra. Har, 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 har. So as I chant the mantra, I'm pumping my stomach in towards the spine with every repetition of the mantra. Now, in the beginning, it'll be easier, but after you've done it like 20 times in a row, your belly will start getting tired if you're not used to it. So when that happens, you can then stop doing the stomach movements and you can just continue focusing on the mantra. But do it as long as you can, yeah? Like challenge yourself a little bit. And then the next part we're going to do is so you bring your elbows in really tight into your sides like this. You spread your fingers wide, palms facing forward. We reach up towards the ceiling and then, we inhale as we're reaching up towards the ceiling. And then as we exhale, we clench the fists, pull the elbows in, pump the stomach and chant har, har. Yeah. So we're going to do it together now. Remember that this is about releasing like lifetimes worth of trauma, pain, and suffering here. So really, really chant with conviction. Like, let's not give two shits what we sound like or if we sound crazy. Yeah, like think about what we're doing this for and really chant with conviction here. Like, if not now, then when? Now is the time for us to do this. So everybody with me. Har, 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 har. Don't give up, keep going. Har, 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 har. Release the hands, close the eyes. Inhale and exhale through the nose. And in a moment, I'm going to count back from 10. And this time, as I count back from 10, you're going to see yourself diving into your own womb space. Now, this is where any of your traumas that have been accumulated in your lifetime, that have come from your experiences, this is where they are held and stored. This is also where the generational ones that have been passed down to you are also held. So as we chant now, as we dive now into your own womb space, this is the center for where your inner child is. But this is also the center for creation, for your sexuality, for your feminine energy. So as I count back from 10 now, I want you to see yourself diving into your own womb space for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, arriving now in your own womb space. What does it feel like to be here? For some of you, this might be the first time that you've really connected with your womb space in this way. For some of you, it might feel more challenging than others because maybe you've been going through some stuff. For some of you, it might even feel numb. You might feel nothing. You might feel dissociated from it. For some of you, it might even feel like too much. Notice what it feels like to be here, to be in your womb space, without trying to fix it, without judging. Just observe. And as I count back from 10 now, you're going to see that same divine cosmic ocean of water entering your own womb space to cleanse and heal your own traumas, heal your own pain, to heal your own womb, to heal your life. As I count back from 10 now, seeing that water rushing into your own womb space for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See and feel that water swirling around inside your own womb space. Feel those waves crashing through your womb over and over again, getting from the front to the back, top to bottom, side to side, getting into the deepest, darkest, most hidden parts of your womb space, bringing up the stuff that has been hidden so deep that it's even been hidden from yourself, bringing it to the surface, washing it, cleansing it, and healing it. And now together we are going to chant the Ha mantra in the exact same way again. This time it's to release all of your traumas, to release all of your stuff. So really, really chant it like you mean it. The time is now, ladies. Okay, inhale up, everybody with me. Har, 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 har. Chant a little bit louder. Har, 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 har. Release your hands, close your eyes. Inhale and exhale through the mouth, through the nose, sorry. And in a moment, as I count back from 10, I'm going to ask you to see yourself emerging from your own womb space as a newborn baby, being rebirthed, reborn into a new life that you're about to consciously birth and create for yourself. But before we do that, I want you to think of your big intention or your big wish or promise for this life. What is it? What is like the one promise that you want to keep to yourself and live by? Or like, what is the big intention that you want for this new life? Whatever it is, I want you to bring it into your womb with you. And as I count back from 10 now, you're going to see yourself emerging from your womb as a newborn baby for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Emerging from your own womb space as a newborn baby into this new life, into this new energy, and with this new intention that you have just consciously created and birthed from the immaterial world, from the non-physical world, through your womb, through your sacred portal into this physical reality. And as you hold that newborn you in your arms and look down into her eyes, you hug her closer into your chest. She merges with you at your heart center, becoming one with you in the present. This version of you, but now this version of you has been reborn and renewed with this new energy, with this new life, with this new intention that you have created and birthed. And with every single beat of your heart, with every single breath, that new intention and that new life and energy moves deeper and deeper through your body on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level, penetrating every single part of you until every cell in your entire body is vibrating with that new intention. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to be it. And whenever you are ready, I invite you to bring your hands into a prayer at your heart center. Take a nice deep inhale in. And as you exhale, bow the head towards the heart. Namaste. Whenever you are ready, I invite you to open the eyes. And what we do at the end of these practices is that I ask everybody to pop into the chat box and just share something about your experience with that practice. What often happens in these moments is when we see other women sharing things that maybe we might be afraid to share, or also maybe that we think we're the only ones that experience things a certain way. But then when we see these women like sharing their own experience, it makes us realize that actually like we're not alone in what we're feeling and what we're going through. I connected to a childhood nickname I've forgotten. Okay, Alison, I'm sorry, but you can't tell us that without telling us what the nickname is. We have to know now. It's only fair. I remembered the first time I did this practice. Alexanko. That's a cute nickname. Way nicer than what my nickname was. I was quite emotional when connecting with my 10 and 1-year-old self. Yeah. It can often bring up a lot of strong emotions. Very emotional for me going through the meditation. I now know to support myself, love myself, and understand myself. Thank you. You're very, very welcome. A lot of flashbacks from situations in my life. Came a lot of years feeling some pain in the womb area. Yeah, sometimes like say physical twinges and pains and stuff in the womb area after this practice is just part of that like energy being released. So maybe just a little bit of extra TLC this evening, a little bit of extra self-care, like a nice hot bath or shower, cup of herbal tea, hot water bottle, that kind of thing. Again, a lot of movements in the hands, wanting to move. That's just the energy moving through you. I have to go now, but thank you so much. Love to everyone. That's fine, Sophie, don't worry. I feel a great sense of calm and tranquility after the exercise. My 5 and 10-year-old selves were crying. They felt unheard and shamed for having emotions. My intention is to trust myself. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Janine. And it's definitely something I can relate to as well. When I was at those ages, I also felt very unheard, unseen, a lot of shame for feeling any emotions at all. Love your realness throughout, very emotional through it all. And then the end, I felt love and joy, and I want to hold on to that feeling. I was pretty numb, but I took what I needed. I released so much through my feet. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Numbness is often a sign of, like, disconnection from the self, disconnection from the pain. Maybe at one point it wasn't safe for us to feel what we wanted to feel. Maybe at one point it was too intense or overwhelming and we didn't know how to feel it. So we often numb ourselves. So through wound healing, we learn to rebuild that connection with ourselves, and slowly over time expand our ability and our capacity to hold those emotions that we were numbed out to. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I found tenderness for myself. I felt safe inside the womb, even though it was darkness of the world, mum's ancestral fears and traumas. I remembered I was light and no fear. I remember doing this in 2001, I think, and how amazing. Welcome back, Kathy. I connected to a child who never felt secure. I cried thinking how I felt and how I never had the reassurances I needed, and how I always try my best to create that stability and reassurance for my little girl now. My friend Charlie is with me, and she said that she would love to tell her younger self that her ideas were enough and that she could trust what was right for her. I love that. And it's something that so often as children, um, we were kind of taught that our ideas and decisions were like overruled, like, because we're not allowed to make decisions or have ideas because we're only kids, you know. And so realizing that actually, like, that's not right and that we should have been allowed to explore our own ideas, is a huge step. Felt so calm and connected to myself, but fell asleep when I went into my mother's womb. Don't worry about it, Nicola. It happens all the time. Felt pain up my left side, but feel empowered now. Thank you so much. Honestly, the amount of people who at the end, when I'm like, bye everyone, there's always a few people who are still fast asleep. So peaceful now. Realized I was looking for love this whole time, but I've been loved the whole time. Thank you. Very powerful. Had a lot of memories come through. There were lots of ups and downs through the journey, some difficult feelings when saying I love you to myself and when in my mother's womb. But healing and love happened, then rebirthed. Intense tears at times. I felt a release of guilt that I don't know why I have or had. Something that's really interesting about that is we always try to, like, figure out, don't we? Like, as women, we're just like detectives underneath, and we're like, oh, I need to figure out why I feel that way or why that comes up. Sometimes we just need to feel it. Like, we don't even need to know where it comes from or to figure it out. I felt an empathy for my mother and how difficult her pregnancy must have been with a lack of support from my father. I also remember how I felt the same with my ex-husband, sending us all lots of love and healing those wounds in utero. Felt so calm and connected to myself, but I fell asleep when I went into my mother's womb. Oh yeah, no, that's the same one again. Sorry. So thank you all so much, ladies, for being here and taking part in that practice. I would love to, just before we head off, just share two things with you. So one of them is that I will be giving away 2 womb healings. So do one-to-one womb healing sessions with me, and one of them I'll be giving away to somebody from the chat box. I'll, I'll announce it later on, but the other one I will be giving away will be so for everybody who is here, if you'd like to be in it with another chance of winning a one-to-one with me, and if you take a picture or a screenshot of this session that we're in together and share it on one of your social media accounts and tag me on Instagram. I'm just at Kirsty Olive. And on Facebook, if you just type in the search bar Kirsty Olive, I'll also come up. So you can tag me in your story or do it as a post and share me. But if you take a picture and share it to your stories and tag me, or to your wall and tag me, then you'll be in with an entry to win that. You're very welcome, Ria. And then the second thing that I wanted to share as well is just for anybody. I know there's a few of you who are here who've already done my womb healing group program, my group mentorship. But for those of you who maybe haven't heard about it, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about, if you are interested in hearing more, a little bit about it and what you would receive within that container. So to do that, I'm just going to share my screen with you again. So within my womb healing container, as you can imagine, like what I've shared today is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just one of many womb healing practices or experiences that I have to share with you, that I have to offer. But also in addition to like these kind of meditations and ceremonies and practices, there's a lot of this deep inner work for us to do together. And so this is what we do within the womb healing program. Like everything that I discussed at the beginning, that's the kind of stuff that we will be diving into, that by the end of the womb healing program, you've got that confidence, you've got that self-trust, you've got that self-belief, you're getting that easing up of your symptoms, that remission of your symptoms, even in some cases. And you're actually seeing and feeling these changes happening in real time as we move through the program. So what you will receive if you decide to join is we have 8 weekly live sessions online with me every Monday at 7 p.m. UK time. Just to note that as we're coming up to the Christmas period, what we usually do when it gets to around that time, because we have a private WhatsApp group for the program, is I'll normally just say to everybody, like, okay, so like Christmas is on a Monday or whatever, so we're not going to be doing a session on that day. Would you like a 2-week break? Would you like us to move it to another day? Shall we meet back after the new year? And I really kind of leave that up to the group to make a decision on whatever works for them over the Christmas. But over the Christmas, I'm still there to support you all in the WhatsApp group. And in addition to that, as you're part of the womb healing program that'll be going towards the Christmas time, you do also get the bonus of being invited to any of my Christmas practices and workshops for free as part of your package. You also get, in addition to the 8 weekly live sessions, you get 2 one-to-one coaching integration calls with me throughout the program. You get a gift of ceremonial cacao, which I will send to you. For anybody who doesn't want to or can't drink cacao, I'll send you rose tea instead. You get a womb healing cacao ceremony, so you get access to my next ceremony. Again, if you don't want to drink cacao, you can drink the rose tea. You also get access to a womb healing manual, which is called the Womb Bible, that I've written and created myself, that is just packed full of womb healing wisdom. You get lots and lots of pre-recorded womb healing modules and practices, in addition to the live sessions that we do. You also get weekly resources and worksheets that are going to help you to like dive deeper, explore certain topics, but also just things that you can keep and refer back to again and again and again. You get access to live energy healings that I do throughout that time that we're working together. In addition to that, and this is really, really important to me, you get lifetime access to all of the content and all of the replays. You also get lifetime access to any updates to the manual and stuff like that, because I want this to be a toolbox and a resource that will support you for the rest of your life, anytime that you need it, not just for this next 8 weeks. You also get access to the private WhatsApp group that we have for the program, where you can get support from me in between sessions, but also this is where a lot of friendships are made. This is where a lot of like lifelong connections and, real sisterhood is made, is within the WhatsApp group. In addition to all of that, which is like the actual kind of bulk of the course content, you also receive these bonuses. So you receive lifetime access to over 150 practices for self-love, manifestation, kundalini, womb healing. You get a huge, huge library of different practices and resources that you can use time and time again. This is in addition to all of the practices and resources that you actually receive within the program itself. You also receive exclusive access to 8 goddess interviews that I did in a goddess gathering summit. And these interviews are with different women who work in different healing areas around the world, who I interviewed to discuss like trauma and the healing journey, or anything to do with self-healing. So there is like a shaman, there is a 2 psychologists, one who works with like narcissistic abuse, one who works with more general trauma. And we just really, really dive deep into healing with these women. So you get access to all of those recordings. You get access to 2 upcoming group coaching sessions. You get access to all of my Christmas practices and workshops, like I mentioned. And you also get one-to-one WhatsApp support from me over the holiday season. This is because I know that the holiday season can be challenging for anybody who's suffering. If you've suffered pregnancy loss, if you're suffering with chronic illness, if you have suffered trauma, if you've just gotten out of an abusive relationship, like this time of year can be really difficult. So you'll get my one-to-one support through WhatsApp over the holiday period to help you with that. And in addition to all of that, the next 3 women who sign up will also receive these bonuses. Now, I just want to say that these 3 bonus spots with the 3 extra bonuses always, always, always fill up very fast. Like the past couple of times I've done these calls, those 3 bonuses have been gone by the time we even get off the call. Or I think the last one, like 2 of them were gone by the time they got off the call, and one of them was gone 10 minutes later. So they really do go fast. So if you are interested and you would like to take one, you can send me a private message in the chat there, just with like your full name or your email address, and then I can reach out to you directly by email after this. The next 3 women who sign up will receive a one-to-one womb healing and activation session with me, which is worth which is worth €250 in itself. You'll also receive a natural womb healing supplies gift set, which I'll send out to you in the post, worth €50, and lifetime access to my reclamation and my womb healing masterclass replays, which are worth €444. So all of that I've just mentioned, the course, the bonuses, and the 3 bonus spot bonuses, you will receive all of that for only €444 if paid in full. Now, I've explained it all to you, so I don't think I need to to say just how much you're actually getting for only €444. Like the value of all of that is, as you can imagine, like well into the thousands. It's way more than that. And you'll be receiving it for only $444 if you decide to pay it in full. There is an installment option if you decide to pay in installments. Oh, sorry, just to let everyone know, 2 of those spots have been taken in private messages there. So there's one of those bonus spots is now remaining. If you decide to pay in installments, you would pay a deposit of €111 to secure your place, and then you would have 444 remaining that could be paid in installments that would suit you. The original cost is 666 euros. It won't be staying at that cost for long because this has really, really grown. Every time I do it, I add more content, I add more stuff. So it won't be staying. Yes, you can pay in installments. That's no problem at all. That's totally fine. So this includes a discount of, oh yeah, sorry. So the original cost is 666. The cost won't be staying at that for long, because there's just so much of my work, energy, time, love, and care that I put into this. And so the price needs to reflect that. And so it will go up in the future. But right now, with this, you being here tonight and being a part of this practice, 444 euros if paid in full, 555 if paid in installments. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move my screen to this results page when it loads a second. So what you can see on the screen here is you can see, so these are actual screenshots of words that have been written and sent to me from previous attendees, of previous participants of this womb healing program. If you're totally not interested and you don't want to hear about it, look, you're welcome to go. Namaste, lots of love. Hopefully I see you at the next womb healing practice or some of my other practices. But if you'd like to stay while I have a look through these results and share them with you, you're very welcome to. So there's lots of results, by the way more than this. If you go onto my highlights on Instagram, I have so many testimonial page highlights that you can read through, and womb healing highlights that you can read through. But I chose these specific ones just because they're all very different but very powerful. So the one on the left here, this was actually, so like I said, this program has grown. So 3 years ago, this was actually a 4-week program. And I just love this review because it was from right back then as it was still growing. Okay, so just to let everybody know, I would like to attend again. As the last so much. That's no problem at all. So let me know, do you want me to keep that 3rd place for you? Because if so, then I will. Sorry, everyone, I'm just talking out loud to messages, private messages there. So this chat that's over on the left there, I will forever look back on this wee 4-week course as a truly life-altering month, fresh from extricating myself from a high control fundamentalist religion. It's going to take time to connect with my body. Having been indoctrinated my whole life to believe that self-pleasure is wrong and so many other untruths. It has been drummed into me for 40 plus years to deaden my body members. But this course is about so much more than learning about self-pleasure. It's about connecting with our creative and intuitive self, our womb. It's about learning to honor ourselves, to truly understand our cycle, and to embrace the utter wonder and beauty that is the female energy and form. Kirsty goes above and beyond, and her passion for this topic bubbles over and imbues us with a sense of awe for the divine feminine energy and a renewed sense of power, softness, and femininity. Truly moving, healing, beautiful, life-changing stuff. So now I'm going to go to the one in the top right corner. This is a shorter one, but really powerful. Having suffered for a very long time with gynae-related problems, I was at a loss about what to do next. Since being introduced to Kirsty and her online womb healing workshops, I can honestly say I've never felt better. Who knew loving your womb would take away so much pain? So much so that I won't be going down the hysterectomy route anymore. Thank you. So as you can see, they're both very different results. One of them is very physical and a huge transformation, but the other one is this really like internal and emotional, mental journey of healing from being in a very high control religion. So now I'm going to go down to the bottom one on the right. Kirsty is a magical fairy Her womb healing course is so transformational and full of knowledge. I have experienced a profound healing with Kirsty in her course. I have connected better with my heart and womb, and I am able to go within and trust myself more. My period pain is less, and my eating habits are healthier and in sync. No problem for any of you that need to head off. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it, ladies. Um, I am able to go within and trust myself more. I think that's really important considering what we talked about tonight. My period pain is less, and my eating habits are healthier and in sync with my periods, which is a very crucial thing. I'm also experiencing more pleasure, and my womb and voice are also connected. I'm super grateful and truly amazed by the womb healing course that Kirsty taught me and other amazing women. We had a beautiful space to share and connect with others while feeling seen and not alone. I highly recommend this course, and Kirsty is the best teacher and healer you can ask for. So then the last one that I'm going to go to is the kind of middle one on the page. Kirsty's womb healing course is a must for anyone who is having issues in this area or who feels like they need to connect more deeply to their womb space or their feminine side. I can honestly say that this course has helped me immensely to cope and understand the issues that I have suffered since I was a teenager. I have stage 2 to 3 endo and also fertility issues. I've grown more compassionate and understanding of these issues to the point that in a few months following the course, my painful periods have impacted my life less and less. I learned to move with the flow of my body and work with it rather than against it, with the old attitude that these women's problems would not stop me. I found that using the practical tips that Kirsty shares in relation to diet and being in more sync with your cycle have really helped me. And that's just a snippet of what this course has to offer. There is also the lovely connection with the others in the group, creating a safe space to share anything and all of the other healings that you will experience. I'm continually growing and healing. I've done this course twice now, and I probably will do it again and again, as I got so much each time. So as you can all hear, there's so many different ways that this program can impact you. It can have an impact physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But I think the important thing is to know and to realize from these stories that healing is possible for you. Even if you're like at the last straw, even if you've been beaten down, even if you feel hopeless, I just want you to know that healing is absolutely possible. Now, I just want to let everybody know that in the private messages in the DMs there, those 3 bonus spots have actually been claimed, have been taken. However, just in case any of those people don't follow through or whatever, I mean, I doubt that'll happen, it never does. But if you want to be in the wait list maybe for the bonus spot, or if you want to sign up and see if you get a bonus spot anyway, just drop me a message. I'm going to send out an email to everyone anyway, but you can drop me an email or a private message if you want to. And then last but not least, we've done a lot of release work tonight, so if anybody feels particularly vulnerable and like you want a little bit of support from me, if you want to share anything, if you want to chat, please reach out to me by email or on social media. Apart from that, just thank you all so much for coming. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your energy, and for choosing to spend your evening with me. Lots of love, ladies, and I hope to see you all at the next one. Namaste.